So, a few things before we get into the interview. One, this was my first time doing a recording like this, and I was working with a new sound situation, and my vocals don't come out exactly the way I wanted them to. There's a few moments in the video where my vocals clip. It's not unlistenable, but I just wanted to warn you. I thought about redoing the interview, but it kind of ruins the spontaneity, so I decided to keep it in. Also, just in case it's not clear, Luvjonez has not heard this album, but I have, so I just wanted to clarify that. We had a great conversation. I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to Never Heard It, the show where I review classic albums that I never got around to listening to. I normally do this by myself, but this week I decided to bring along a friend. He is the co-founder of A Beat Happening, which is a monthly producer showcase in Portland, Oregon. He is a music producer in his own right, and in 2020 alone, he's put out 7 different projects. We're not going to talk about all of them because I don't think we have enough time, so I'm just going to get into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Luvjonez. What's up?
What's up, everybody? Not a lot.
Not a
Thank you
lot.
for that introduction.
Yeah, man. How is a beat happening going? Like, is it in 2021? Are we gonna?
I'm thinking probably it'll be an online thing, the quarantine
Yeah,
edition. So I don't know. It'll be rebranded. I'm trying to work
cool,
on how to relaunch it for 2021.
cool. All right, that's awesome. Okay, so we're here to talk about Ice Cube's debut solo album, classic that you have never heard. It
Right.
is America's Most Wanted, spelled with 3 Ks. Just that spelling alone makes it a classic.
Right.
So first question, why is it you've never heard this album?
Yeah, well, it's funny. I didn't really think of it until yesterday. But I was like, why did I avoid? Because I liked NWA.
Mm.
Um, and, even followed some of their solo projects early on. But like, I don't know. I think there was something to it. Like Ice Cube was never like my favorite rapper. Like, um, and when he broke up with NWA, I don't know. I always just assumed that everyone would make once a big breakup happens,
Mm.
they would all make trash music after that. um, and even though he partnered with Bomb Squad, I remember being like, not I was like, I like a bunch of individual Public Enemy songs, but
Mm.
even their albums were like too chaotic for me, like the
So,
production.
so you're not a huge Bomb Squad fan?
I mean, there are parts of their production style that I
Mm.
respected, but I think it was just too much stuff going on all the time, and it didn't always work for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I feel the same way about Public Enemy. Like I respect them. I love them as a group. I'm not a huge fan. I've reviewed some of their albums on this. Some people were upset about what I had to say. But yeah, I'm not. It is a little chaotic at times, and it just felt like it was just too much going on. And I was never a huge fan of Bomb Squad Productions.
Yeah, and I think that like that pairing, I was like, oh, that would be cool. And then I don't know, I just never checked it out. I think I
Mm,
was like, I must have sided with NWA.
mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know.
Did
I
you have
just
did you Did you ever check out like the stuff he did afterwards, or like did you ever jump on the bandwagon, or was it just?
well, yeah, I think right around when the Predator came out, I was like,
Mm,
oh, I like this version.
mm,
Uh, but he was. I mean, it's kind of like some Nas albums. Like, there's just some product. I was just like, I don't like
mm,
the beat production on a lot of it.
mm,
Um, and so like the Predator, Lethal Injection, like that era of Ice Cube, I
mm,
was like, I liked more of the albums then because I feel like he simplified his
hmm.
backdrop a little bit. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like I remember the cover for America's Most Wanted. I remember interviews where he was getting in fights with everybody and
Mm.
individual tracks, but I just never checked the album out.
Yeah, one of the things about this, I really love the album cover. Like
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what it is about it, but it seems so menacing. I don't know. It's one of my favorite album covers.
Yeah, it's funny. The more I remember, like I was like, the picture is iconic. It has all
Mm,
these. Like I remember trying to pick out like who do I recognize from any of
mm,
these. Um, but yeah, I was like, it. The album cover was
mm,
good. The title was good.
mm.
Everything about it was like angry
Yeah.
teenager.
Uh-huh.
Should have checked it out, but I just never did. I think maybe I was more East Coast than anything.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean, but he recorded in New York.
yeah,
I
but then they
mean,
tried down west, like from the
yeah.
West Coast with the samples. I was like, I don't know. I just even going back now to listen to it, I'm
Hmm.
like, yeah, there's classics. There's like songs that are that are classic, I guess,
Hmm.
but it's just not an album that I can like. I will never put it on.
Mm. All right. Well, we'll get into that part later. Let's let's go through the album. So,
Right.
were there any songs that kind of stuck out to you?
Um, yeah, I mean, I think what's funny is because I never listened to it, I never realized what project Gangsta Fairy Tale and
Hmm.
Once Upon a Time in the Project,
Hmm.
which is funny because I remember Redman's version of Once Upon a
Yeah,
Time in the Project,
yeah.
and
I
then
think he called
realizing
it
like, oh, this,
he called it Jersey Yo, right?
yeah,
I think
something
that's
like,
that's what it called. Once upon a time in Jersey Yo.
yeah.
That's just the opening. Yeah, I remember he did that. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, those songs, I was like, oh yeah, this is what that out. Those are this is the album that those songs are from.
Mm.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It was more funny to me to like go through and be like, he started it off all dramatic, like the intro is like, you know, all this movie drama, like
Mm.
uh prepping the album, and then he jumps into it. And one thing that stood out was like there's a bunch of like rap battle and DJ battle quotes all throughout this
Mm.
album. Like now you know where they come from
Yeah.
because he had kind of like a lot of skits at the end of songs.
Hmm. Yeah,
Um,
that's what I find a lot about when I like listen to a lot of the albums that I haven't heard. I'm like, oh, that's where that comes from. That's one of the magical things about listening to stuff like this.
yeah, it's funny because people built whole songs around these like
Hmm.
little snippets at the end of the album. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know, but in terms of like individual songs, let me see. Like, was there any of them? I think yeah, I don't know. Like, there's some that sounded like he was going for like the hit single with
Hmm.
um what was it? I think You Can't Fade Me
That's
or
the song about rolling dice.
yeah, and like killing his pregnant girlfriend or something. I was like,
Oh yeah, yeah.
I was,
That's classic. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can't fade me is the one about. I was thinking about another song. I forgot it. But yeah, you can't fade me is the one where he gets the ugly girl pregnant. Apparently,
yeah,
he
and
gets
then
he
gets
gets the ugly
mad
girl
at
pregnant.
her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah.
that. So that yeah.
He
So
got
there
in
was
trouble for the kicker in the tummy line. I think that was one of that was one of the things he got in trouble for.
yeah.
Oh,
There's
and
some
there's one line I think at the end where he says, "Now I'm in the closet looking for a hanger." And if I
yeah
had heard that back in the day, I would not have gotten that reference. But like now, I'm like, Jesus Christ.
yeah. No, that's how I felt too. I was like, how mad are you that like you're mad you want to like kill the baby and wreck
Mm.
her because you got her pregnant because you don't I was like that was the thing that threw me about the album. I'm like,
Mm.
I thought it was going to be like a Public Enemy-ish, like
Hmm.
fight the power, whatever. It's
Hmm.
too many mixed messages. I was like, the album cover and that song don't match.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think he really got into like his pro black bag until like I would say that the next album, which is it Death Certificate? What's the album after this one?
Yeah, I
I
think he
think
did.
it's
There was like a Kill It Will EP or something
yeah,
that
it's
came
Killer
out
Will
between.
EP, and then I don't think he really got on that until the next album, like when he was really like he
Yeah.
had like Minister Farrakhan on albums, and he was maybe or maybe not part of the Nation of Islam, but
Yeah.
yeah, I didn't like this one. Was he was still very a lot of this was written for NWA.
Yeah.
But like he was gonna record that with them, and then they broke up, obviously. So he just had like notebooks and notebooks of rhymes that he just decided to put on here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, the song I was thinking about earlier was "What They Hitting For," which that's the song that's about rolling dice.
Oh, right, right.
Which is something he does a lot throughout this album. He has like these short 1 minute songs.
Yeah.
There's like three or four songs. They're just like maybe a verse. Like he just decided not to go a full full all the way into whatever he was talking about, which I
Yeah.
thought was interesting. Like that really didn't happen a lot in 1990. Most people made songs way too long
Hmm.
and unnecessarily long. So that's one of the things I liked, that he didn't overindulge in a bunch of songs. He didn't make a 3 minute song about rolling dice.
Yeah, it was funny to see too that like I think it was 16 or 17 tracks on the album, and I was like,
Mm,
that feels like a lot for that for
mm,
back then.
mm.
But I think with the shorter songs,
Yeah, I think.
probably just added
I
up.
have the album up. It's only what 50 minutes, which is actually
Yeah,
pretty short
yeah,
for an album that came out in 1990.
yeah.
It's under an hour. So there's nothing that you just really like, really liked on this album.
No, not really. I mean, there was like the nostalgia for Gangsta Fairy Tale and stuff
Hmm.
like that, but I'm like, but nothing that I was like, oh, this is something I missed.
Was
Like,
there
oh no, go ahead.
was there anything that you just like? Anything that you hated? Anything that you're like, this is not a good song?
Yeah, I mean, there's. Let me see. Uh, like the combo of like the drive-by skit and then
Mm,
rolling with the lynch mob.
mm.
I was like, it's like
A song
it's
that
just
doesn't
kind of
feature the lynch mob.
yeah, just rolling with
They're
right there in the
not on the
background.
song.
uh, yeah, I don't know. Something I was just like the gun sounds were really corny to me, and I was like, I wonder if there was a time when people were like, "Oh, that sounds authentic," but they sounded like World War II VHS tape gun sounds or something. Like they sound like echoey and goofy. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know that I hated it. I was just like, this just is too much to listen to. Like
Mm,
I remember being like, wanting to like listen to the stuff your parents didn't want you to listen to.
mm.
But like nothing. This album was. I was like, I wouldn't. I don't know that I would have even listened to this more than
Mm.
once. Yeah,
All
let me
right.
see. Yeah, there's. I don't know.
Nothing.
I don't like hate anything, but there's
Mhm.
just a bunch of just skippable songs.
One crazy thing about this album, there's technically three singles, but there's only one like actual music video,
Oh yeah,
but directed by Alex Winter of all
yeah.
people.
I'm feeling Philly. I was like, who's
um,
the Mac?
yeah, Who's the Mac is the only video for this album,
Yeah,
which
that
is
was funny.
it seems crazy. Like, why wouldn't I don't know. I don't know what I'm sure there was some background stuff going on, but there was only one single from this album. I honestly don't
Yeah,
hear any singles. Like the other two songs that are singles are not singles. Like
yeah.
I
No,
can't
they were like,
imagine. I think America's Most Wanted was one of the singles, which is not. I can't imagine that being on the radio.
right.
And then the other one was the one with the one with Chuck D.
Yeah,
Tales from the Dark Side, which
yeah.
it's not.
Which, yeah, neither of
uh,
those.
yeah, I can't imagine either one of them being on the radio. But
Uh-uh.
Who's the Mac was on there, so.
Yeah, Who's the Mac 2 was it was funny to watch the video because I don't even know if I had ever even seen that video.
Mm,
But it was funny to see the guy who played Red from Friday being
mm.
like the pimp in the video, or DJ Pooh.
DJ Pooh, yeah,
Um,
the co-writer of Friday.
yeah, was also like the pimp in the Who's
Mm.
the Mac video.
I'm pretty sure he probably wrote the treatment for that video too. I feel like he
Yeah,
probably did.
probably.
I don't know.
That's how
Uh,
they ended up with Friday. Like, Who's the Mac was brilliant. Let's make that movie.
so was there? So do you after listening to it, do you understand why it's a classic?
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's parts of it that are like there's like individual classic songs. I think
Mm,
that moment in time for rap
mm,
made it a classic too. Like where, like songs like, what is it, Turn Off the Radio, like where, rap was, gangster rap especially, was fighting for airtime and like trying to, fight the systems or whatever. And just for that incredible beef with NWA and like what that spawned in terms of diss tracks and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, like it feels like an archive of that certain era of rap, but classic in the way that I would put it on in the house and like listen to it for nostalgia's sake is not there. Not for me anyway.
Yeah, you know what's funny is that he never mentions NWA on this record. He barely mentions them on Kill It Will, the EP that came out in between. It wasn't, and then on the following album, Death Certificate, he doesn't. He only mentions them on No Vaseline, like literally the last song on the album. And then he just demolishes it. He just absolutely kills every member. And just with that one song, he killed a beef, and like that, which is, I don't know, that's one of the reasons why I love Ice Cube. I guess you've already answered this. I guess you wouldn't be listening to this one again.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't. I realize that even though there are those classic songs, like if I was like trying to find snippets of like diss tracks or something that I wanted to put on a project, maybe, but not like song wise. There's nothing that made me want to be like, oh, this is like a hidden gem or anything.
I'm a huge Ice Cube fan, so his first 3 albums to me are classic. I don't think there's a lot of people that have like that many back-to-back classics. Also, like this is in a 3-year period. Like he released 3 albums, 3 years, 3 classics. I can't name anyone else that's done that. And then if you add in Straight Outta Compton, which was 2 years earlier, that's another one. So
So yeah, I mean he was on a roll for sure. I mean he and I still like that, his attitude and presence on stuff, but there's just something about like it feels like a time capsule or something for like a time when he saved his career and like carved his own path.
Yeah, because he easily could have been just like everybody. He if he had put out this album and it was completely whack, Ice Cube probably wouldn't exist anymore. Like he would have been like everybody would have been like everybody would have jumped on the NWA bandwagon. Maybe they had put out a couple more albums. Would have been completely a different timeline. But he came out with this and people dug it. As we wrap it up, is there anything you want to plug? Anything you want to talk about? Anything that you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, just the last album that I put out, Everything at Once. It's on all streaming services under Luvjonez, Luvjonez. Yeah, that's about it. I think that kind of encapsulated everything, that a lot of highlights that I wanted to put out throughout the year. So I waited till the end of the year to put it out. But
yeah, well, that title is pretty much how everyone in 2020 is feeling.
Yeah, no, that was like, it felt like there was no other way to describe all the things. Like it was like every week I was like, oh, maybe I'll wait a week and put it out, and every week there was a new crazy thing that happened. I was like, nope, it's just. Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It was funny to go kind of like the memory lane of like, going through and figuring out some of these audio samples and stuff. But I don't know.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to create this just to be like, there's this stigma against you have to know everything. And, if you can't be a part of the culture if you haven't heard every single classic album or whatever. So I just wanted to I got tired of embarrassing myself. So I decided I would maybe call somebody else up and see if they could embarrass. So congratulations, you just embarrassed yourself on the internet.
No, but that's the one thing with your series. Like you'll review albums, and I'm like, I don't know if I know every song on that album either. I know a bunch of hit things. I know what BET and MTV fed me, but I don't. I couldn't afford every album that ever came out. So there's definitely.
Yep.
Your series reminds me.
Yeah. Has anyone else out there listened to America's Most Wanted? Are you still bumping it to this day? I'm gonna keep reviewing albums until I run out. This is two guys on the internet that don't know everything. We'll see you later. Peace.